Hi, Swayze here from fitonraw.com, and today I want to talk about tanning and whether or not tanning is really good for us and really beneficial. And the reason I want to talk about this is partly because I've been talking, a lot about vitamin D in terms of vitamin D3 and vitamin D2 and all of these different issues. The other reason is because, as raw foodists, people who eat, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, many of us tend to be kind of sun bunnies in the sense that, we're very, pro-nature, we're outside a lot, and we know that getting sunshine is good, exposing our skin to the sun is good, and it's how we produce vitamin D. And so you'll see, or I've seen, I've noticed a lot of raw foodists have tans, oftentimes very, very deep tans. And so I wanted to talk about that today, whether or not tanning is good, whether it's actually necessary to tan to ensure good health and to ensure optimal vitamin D levels. So first, tanning is good in the sense that it's actually a survival technique, really. I mean, it's a way for our bodies to protect us against sunburn. The problem with tanning is that it has been linked to non-melanoma skin cancer. And of course wrinkles as well. If you tan a lot, you are damaging the skin when you tan, and you are increasing your risk for wrinkles as you get older. And so of course this is hard for us younger people who really like to tan and like to get dark, and it feels good, and you don't see the wrinkles right away. You just look great and tan and bronzed and all of that. And I totally get that. I used to tan. I used to go to tanning beds actually years ago, and I loved it. And I got super, super dark, and it felt great. And I miss those days. I won't lie. I do miss going to tanning beds. But again, when you tan, you are damaging the skin, and you are increasing your risk for wrinkles. Not to mention increasing your risk for non-melanoma skin cancer as well. Not melanoma skin cancer, but non-melanoma skin cancer. Melanoma is the deadly one. And I'll talk about that one. I'll probably do another video on that actually. So tanning, it's great if you live out, in the wild, so to speak, and you don't have shelter and you don't really have options. Tanning is great. It's going to protect you, but it's not so great in terms of the look of our skin as we age. Now the thing is, we don't need to tan to ensure optimal vitamin D levels, and this is really the big thing, the main thing that I want to talk about. We often assume that if we see someone that isn't super, super dark, they're not getting enough vitamin D, they're not spending enough time outdoors, and that's not necessarily the case. To get enough vitamin D, we do not have to tan. So someone with like a type 2 skin, which would be about what I have, someone with a Northern European background and who burns easily, tans usually easily as well, but also burns very easily. Someone like us during the summer months, if you live close enough to the equator, so like subtropical environment, you're only going to need to spend 10 to 15 minutes in the sun 3 times a week to allow your body to produce enough vitamin D. Basically, you just need to spend a quarter to a half of the amount of time that it takes for your skin to turn pink. That's how long you should spend in the sun. And I'm taking this from the book, The Vitamin D Solution, written by Dr. Michael Hollick, which I've talked about before. It's something I highly recommend. He's like the vitamin D sunshine guy. And he talks about this in the book, and he talks about tanning and how he doesn't recommend getting a tan. Tanning is damage. But of course he does recommend having optimal vitamin D levels. And you can achieve this just by spending, for many of us who have lighter skin tones, just a few minutes of time per week in the sunshine, exposing your arms and your legs and your torso, if you can, and your back to the sun. And he has actually a great chart showing how much time you should spend in the sun, given what part of the time of the year it is, given where you live, if you're in a subtropical or more northern climate, and your skin type. And so it's a really awesome chart. I refer to it all the time to see how much time I should actually spend in the sun. And it's really good. Again, I recommend the book. So yeah, my point here is that tanning isn't necessarily good. In fact, I would say, again, it's great if in terms of survival, but in terms of how we live in modern day, and we have access to shelter virtually all the time, and we have sunblock that we can use, we don't need to tan, and we can avoid tanning and burning, especially burning. I mean, I don't really need to talk about how bad that is for your skin, but we can avoid that and even tanning, getting really dark fairly easily. Now again, I do understand that tanning feels awesome and it's great and I love it, and I've still gotten a little darker, and you will get a little bit darker if you spend some time in the sun. You shouldn't be spending so much time in the sun that you are getting really, really, really dark. And again, the chart is great in the vitamin D solution. I'm not getting any money from saying this. I know it sounds like I am because I've recommended it so much. It's just a book that I really enjoy, and that's really helped me in terms of optimizing my time that I spend in the sun. So yeah, that's my video on tanning. Let me know what you think about it, if you love to tan as much as I do, and I will have a new video up very, very soon, so stay tuned.